sports.
Being a Spartan fan, I can't do that.
And welcome to Nature Watch. Nature Watch is sponsored by Waddell's Nursery, Floral, Garden, and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millam Road. And now, your host of Nature Watch. We have some nature to talk about today. It's Gary Miller. Hello, sir. How are you?
Good.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. We're sitting here right across from each other, and we're acting like we're online trying to talk. I was waiting for the call. Can't make it out of Vicksburg today.
Well, actually, I was going to say on my way in, and actually driving yesterday was even more so. The song kept popping in my head, "Slip Sliding Away."
Oh yeah.
Roads are better this morning.
Thank you for the earbug. I appreciate that.
Roads are much better this morning. They're still slippery, especially side roads.
Yeah.
And by gosh, there's some drivers out there that I can see a little bit of pavement. I'm going to go the posted speed limit or faster.
That is a big stinking no.
I'm like, I couldn't believe how many people were passing me. I'm like, oh my goodness. I know I get a little more cautious. You get a little more cautious when you get older.
Right.
You don't want to have to get out and have to walk someplace or get your vehicle unstuck. But use some common sense, folks. Good grief.
I know it. Leave earlier. It's that simple.
Yeah. Lots of snow. Those lake effect snowbands. It was sort of humorous to watch the forecast and all the models. The models can't quite figure out what to do with lake effect.
Oh, of course not.
And the ranges that they had for snow were just tremendous. So it's interesting to watch and trying to watch all those computer models go. I don't know what's going to happen.
I think everyone pretty much got 6 inches out of this lake effect blast yesterday. I could have sworn they took off about 9 off the top of my car yesterday afternoon. So.
Yeah, I know when I left the store yesterday at closing, a little after 6, we had a good 7 inches that was on everything that was outside. So yeah. I'm imagining we got 8-9 inches because some of that melted initially. So
Sault Ste. Marie had
I saw that.
Close to 2 feet. There's another. The National Weather Service office in Gaylord, they have set an all-time record for snowfall on November 29th, over 28 inches. Gaylord. Gaylord is pretty much
in the middle.
In the middle of your of your fingers. If you want to figure it out in the mitten, and that is reaching right there.
Yes, it is.
So that's what happens when you have a very, very warm lake, and we're not done, kids.
Yeah, actually, looking at the forecast every day, it seems like there's a chance of snow. Temperatures have dropped considerably,
right?
And the snow took off some of those last leaves on some of the sugar maples that were holding on to them till the last minute, and I noticed most of them came off with the snow. That's
one of the good things I wanted to say about this snow event is that when it happened, had it happened a month previous, we could have been in trouble.
Oh, yeah, with all the leaves on the trees, that extra weight, that usually does some branch damage. Yeah,
and if you want to look ahead, you don't have to look ahead too far. Tomorrow, 2 to 4 inches possible. All lake. So there you go. Winter weather advisory, by the way, today until 12 noon. Just keep that in mind. It's not bad right now. It is Small Business Saturday, so you can go out and shop them up and then head over to Waldo and watch the Broncos wrap up the regular portion of the season against Eastern Michigan.
So, and actually you want to get out and maybe do some shopping today at those local stores because there's less than 4 weeks till Christmas. You got about 3.5 weeks.
Shop local, baby.
Yep. Lots of special deals out there.
Yeah.
Including at Waddell. So I have to stop in and see.
Speaking of small businesses.
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to mention, it's sort of a good segue, some events coming up next weekend. Friday from 3:30 to 6 and Saturday 10 to 2. And the following Saturday on the 14th of December from 10 to 2. Waddell's has their Santa event. And next...
I'm looking at you, kid.
So on Saturday next weekend, they're going to actually have the nativity walk set up again, and they're going to have a couple of live donkeys again. So it'll be fun to see with the kids and come out and pick out a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Every year they have this Santa event, and for some reason I keep missing the guy. I'm not quite sure why. Jim's got this startled look on his face.
I think you're lying. I think you really are.
Maybe I should look in the mirror. Maybe that's it.
So you've given it away, haven't you? You've given it away. You are the Santa they speak of.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I was laughing about a week and a half ago. One of my coworkers said, "What can I make you a name tag that says Santa?" And I looked at him and I said, "I think I'm sort of self-explanatory."
Well, you don't hurt the cause. You're in pretty much a Santa gear right now.
Working clothes today.
You have your red plaid on and your suspenders and you never shave, so there you go.
Yep, help pick out Christmas trees. So yeah, and actually the beard comes in handy when these cold temperatures. The face stays a lot warmer, a lot easier.
I'm learning that with mine. I really am.
You got a good start there.
This is the length it's going to stay. I'm not one of those that's going to have it hanging down and all of that. I'll keep it trimmed just like this and keep my face insulated. Speaking of Santa being here, Santa might have some goodies for you in the form of a trivia card.
Yeah, and actually this one is going to probably be fairly easy, I think, because there's multiple answers. Okay,
well, let me sell this to these people first, and then we'll let you fire away. Your chance to win a $20 gift card from Santa. I mean Gary. Right now with the trivia question of the day, 382-4280. First correct answer will score a gift card to Waddell's worth $20. Now do me a favor. If you've won in the past, let's let somebody else win because it's Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the Christmas season.
So my trivia question today goes sort of in line. We've been talking for quite a few weeks about all the different sandhill cranes around, and I'm actually going to talk a little more about them. Uh-huh. And so the most common collective noun for a group of sandhill cranes is a flock. That's pretty default for most birds. What is another name for a group of sandhill cranes? And there's multiples here, so all I need is one.
Okay.
And when we get that correct answer, we'll talk a little bit about those. And then a bonus pat on the back if you know another name for a sandhill crane chick.
Yeah, okay.
That's a little bonus pat in the back for yourself. You can feel really proud that you know that answer too.
Now we know sandhill cranes are flocks, but what's another name for a flock of sandhill cranes?
Yeah, there's multiples.
That's what we're looking for here, 382-4280. If you get that right, he's going to ask you the bonus question of the day, which is worth nothing.
Yes. Let's get to have that pride in having another correct answer. And I say that because actually these flocks have gotten huge. This last week, on Tuesday, I saw some huge flocks in some marshy areas. The birds are all sort of huddled together because it was getting colder. They like the warmth of that marshy area in the water. And the one group that I saw, I'm guessing, was over 1,000 birds. Yesterday morning in the snow, in some of the fields, there were some of these large flocks that were grouped together and actually quite closely together in the fields. And again, there were some good-sized flocks that were hundreds and hundreds of birds. I know in about a stretch of a mile, I know I saw at least more than 1,000 of the cranes. Lots of them out there. And this morning I see them flying in the air in the distance, so they're moving around a little bit today.
Okay, well, there you go. Again, our trivia question, 382-4280. First correct caller will get a $20 gift card to Waddell's. Another name for a flock of sandhill cranes. That's all we need, very simply. As we go to the phones, good morning. Who is this?
This is David.
David, good morning.
David.
Hey, what do you have a guess? There's multiples.
Is it a cranium?
Oh, that's actually one of them that you don't see very often, but it isn't the correct answer.
A cranium, that's good.
There's so many different answers, and there's quite a few of them out there. I figured people are Googling and like, oh, gosh, which one do I pick?
There you go. Okay, David, hold on now. I think there might be a bonus here. Well, you're not going to get anything for it, but why don't you shoot the bonus, Adam?
Yeah, so the bonus pat on the back, if you get it correct, is what's another name for a sandhill crane chick?
Do you have a guess, David?
Sandy?
Oh, actually, the one that you see most typical is colt.
Oh, colt.
Colt. C-O-L-T, just like a horse colt.
I didn't know that.
So that's
Okay.
a little interesting fact. And actually, when I talk about some of the other group names, you figure that out when you hear about one of the group names is herd. So it makes
really?
a herd of cranes, yes.
Huh. You know, David, this is why I come to work on Saturday mornings. You know, I could sleep in, but I want to learn things. So that's why
Me too.
that's why I show up. Okay, hey, David, you won a $20 gift card to Waddell's. Can you hold on the line for just a moment, and I'm going to get some information from you?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. We do appreciate it, and we will be back.
Good job, David.
Yes, we will be back, and we're going to talk about Sandhill Cranes,
Yes.
correct? We'll talk about them next, right here on Nature Watch on WKZL.
Shopping for Christmas gifts and decorations at Waddell's Nursery Florist and Garden Center is a refreshingly pleasant experience. Waddell's is stocked with gorgeous lifelike Christmas trees and decor, all 25% off, and loads of unique quality gifts. Pick out your fresh-cut, beautiful tree from a great selection that has just arrived. Everyone would appreciate a quality, fresh, handmade wreath. Waddell's elves have been busy making dozens of unique styles and colors. And for the rest of today only, you can use your $3, $5, $10, $20, and $50 coupons on any regular price items available at Waddell's.com. Waddell's has a huge selection of quality non-electronic kids' toys and puzzles that make fun gifts. Other great gift ideas include wind chimes, pruners, houseplants, garden benches, and so much more. Remember, see Waddell's website for your coupons, then stop in to use them today at Waddell's Nursery Florist and Garden Center. And be sure to see Waddell's.com this Monday for special Cyber Monday sales, too.
Kalamazoo's news and news makers, too.
Local news is like the most important stuff to me.
Kalamazoo Mornings with Ken Landfear
Your local community.
on WKZO.
8:45, Nature Watch continues. David, our big winner of a $20 gift card, for knowing that one of the names of a group of sandhill cranes or flock is cranium. Here's the punchline to all of this. He told me off air he was kidding, but he got it right.
So that was not one you see very often, but I did. I learn things every time when I'm getting ready for the show too, and that was one of the things that popped in my head this week. Like, well, everybody calls them flocks of crane, but there's got to be another name for them. So most birds have other names. And
Cranium really is one.
I did run across cranium. It was not one that's very, very common, but it is one that I did run across.
See, sometimes you can be funny and win.
Yeah.
I love it.
So there's a couple of names besides flock that are some of the most common. One of them is herd, a herd of cranes.
Yeah.
And it's because when they go out in the fields, they tend to graze like a herd and somebody observed them one time and thought that they when they're out as a herd of cranes grazing, when they were running, they had the appearance of sort of a herd of horses running, and thus the name of colt for the chick.
Oh.
So that's sort of evolved over time. The term herd may have also come from the Old English word herd, which meant flock or multitude of animals. The other most common one besides flock and herd is sedge, S-E-D-G-E. And that comes from the old Germanic term sekj, which meant a flock of birds or crowd of people. And actually refers to a flock that is particularly large and dense with many birds packed closely together. Some of the other names that are out there: congregation of cranes, a dance of cranes, so go in line with their mating dance when they're out dancing their mating dance. A construction of cranes, little pun intended there, I think. And that was actually came about because of the way they build their nests typically in wet areas that helps protect them from predators. And they build these distinctive mound-like structures out of materials that are available nearby, a lot of plant material and that. And they typically do those in wetland areas so the nests are protected from predators. Another one is a siege of cranes. And when they concentrate in high densities to roost or feed, their massive numbers can seem to besiege the landscape. And so that's a few of them. A few others that I ran across was a swoop, a family, a thumping, which I thought was pretty interesting, a wedge, most likely from when they are flying, a trumpeting, and a kettle. So we got lots of choices. If you want to call those groups of cranes something different than a flock. So something to talk about with the family when you're enjoying some of those leftovers you have from Thursday. So
Yeah, there you go.
little educational information with the cranes. The Sandhill crane, they got their name primarily because there's a big stopover area in Nebraska along the Platte River in the Sandhills of Nebraska, and that's sort of where the common name came about. The only relative that they have in the bird world or at least close relative, are whooping cranes in the same family.
Oh.
And they're actually using some of the Sandhill cranes as substitute parents or adoptive parents for the whooping cranes, trying to bring that whooping crane population back. The Sandhill cranes, actually here in the east of the Mississippi River, actually in the upper Midwest, by about the 1930s, they'd been pretty well eliminated from hunting and that. But they've recovered. I remember, 30 years ago, and going doing some birding, and my mother-in-law was an avid birder, and we were in the Upper Peninsula, and we heard rumblings that there were some sandhill cranes nearby. And I remember going on a trek to see these sandhill cranes because they weren't that common. The population has really recovered, and I know some farmers think they're somewhat of a nuisance now with the number of birds that are here. The out in the main flyway, and that one stopping area is along the Platte River in Nebraska. That main flyway of sandhill cranes for those western populations, all of those states have hunting of sandhill cranes except for Nebraska. And that seems to have not affected their population detrimentally, which is they do a very well managed hunt. But Nebraska felt, because of the interest with the sandhill cranes there, and they wanted to protect them. There's many areas that have sandhill crane fests or crane fest. I know there's a few here locally. Over by Bellevue, the Kiwanis Marsh has a very large area that when the sandhill cranes are migrating through, and there are probably a lot of them sitting in there today in that water going, it's like a hot tub for them in that spa. Got the snow around and got that warm water around. With this cold weather, and it's going to stay cold for a while, we're going to have some of these birds are probably going to head south a ways. Some of them actually go down all the way down to the Gulf and then actually into Mexico. They migrate. There's some subspecies, but most of them are either the lesser or the greater sandhill crane, and the greater is just a little bit bigger. So there are some populations that actually have stayed fairly local. So some of those subspecies that are down, like in Florida and Cuba, there's actually one in Cuba. So sandhill cranes are typically mostly in North America, though there are some that actually migrate into northeast Siberia.
Oh, okay.
For nesting. And they nest, if you look at the breeding area, nesting area, they nest way up to the Arctic Circle. So they have a really big area that they cover as far as breeding area. And they actually go all the way up to extreme northern Canada and most of Alaska, except the extreme northern part. And some of that population that is up in Alaska, and then they migrate through Alaska, are some of that population that comes from Siberia. There's actually, if you look at the All About Birds on the Cornell Ornithology Lab, they've got some neat information. If you look at the map, they have some extra indications on the map as far as populations of sandhill cranes. And one of the things that they have indicated is a key staging area. And there's quite a swath that goes through from the southern end of the western provinces in Canada, sort of swoops down through the Dakotas into Nebraska, and comes and actually catches very much lower Michigan and a little bit of Ohio and Indiana. So we're in one of those key staging areas for their migration.
Oh.
So one of those lucky things we have. I noticed the other night when I was getting towards dusk, but they were still flying around, and it looked almost like I guess it was reminiscent of some of those movies that you've seen from World War II when they had all the squadrons of bombers and fighters heading towards Europe to fight, and had all those groups of planes, and there was groups of cranes flying around. It was reminiscent of all those squadrons flying around. A lot of birds out there. can be a little noisy. They're fun to watch when they have their mating dance, though. I've had them land in my hayfield numerous times, and they neat to watch them dance. They usually have one chick a year. They may have a second one, but typically just one. They mate for life, so if they lose their mate, they typically will find another mate. And sandhill chick is able to leave the nest within 8 hours of hatching. And they're even capable of swimming, so it's very, very rapid that they can move. They can't fly until about 9-10 weeks, maybe a little more, before they can actually fly. And they grow very rapidly. If you've seen those checks or colts out there with parents and they're out grazing, they really grow quite rapidly. Seem like you blink your eyes and they're growing.
Okay.
So a lot of neat things about sandhill cranes. They're very unique because you look at their head; they've got that crown of that sort of reddish brown color, and very distinctive look. It's always fun in the springtime. You get a warm day and you hear some sandhill cranes calling, and you try to see where they're coming from, and you finally spot them. They're way up in the sky. You see this little speck, and their sound travels quite a long distance. Okay. So some neat things with the sandhill crane.
Oh. Something I wanted to bring up while we were talking about all of the snow that we had, because the big discussion around here, and it starts about now, is will we have a white Christmas?
Oh yeah,
I looked ahead. I am going to. You see, I don't gamble, nor do I set wagers, nor do I set odds or anything. I do none of that. But I am 85% certain that we will have a white Christmas right now. And the only reason I'm saying 85% is because, are you going to believe a 45-day? It's just, but it looks that way. I only see a couple of times heading into Christmas where we break freezing for highs. So this might be one of those winters where I was telling you this earlier. Well, earlier in the summer, we are way overdue. I think we may be getting paid.
Well, we are due for a hard winter.
We are.
The forecast looks very promising for that white Christmas because temperatures are down there.
Right.
It would be nice, we got spoiled with the very warm fall. A lot of sunshine, and all of a sudden we've gone the opposite lack of sunshine that was visible. We just see a lot of clouds, and it seems sort of dark and dreary. So it would be nice if that sun would pop through once in a while.
Yeah, depression is a big thing this time of year, and I get it. I have friends that when the sun goes away, they go away, pretty much. And that's, I'm not being funny. It's you can laugh at it, but it's to them, it's not a good thing, really.
Oh, yeah.
And
sun lamps become very popular this time of year, as well as vitamin D.
Yeah.
You got to do, sometimes some people have to do that combination. I know we chuckle about it, but it's actually a very serious thing with the dark days and the shorter daylight, and can be very depressing for some folks.
I got to give the green light because I hang on Facebook way too much for my common good, but there are so many posts of that are out there right now, so people do care. I like that.
Yes. So another little interesting tidbit about sandhill cranes. I thought this was quite interesting. They make those very unique trumpeting sounds, and if you ever heard one, you know what the uniqueness I'm talking about. They're able to make those sounds because they have long tracheas or windpipes that coil into their sternum and help the sound develop a lower pitch and harmonics that add richness, so it travels a lot further.
Oh.
So a little interesting there. Another fact you can throw out to the family when you're eating leftovers.
Don't mind us. We just bounce around on this show, okay? It's the only way to do it.
It's sort of like you're going out on a hike in nature, You're out hiking, and you see something, you're looking for something, and you see something else, and all of a sudden your interest has changed. Yeah.
Wow, this tree is so squirrel. Okay, never mind. Yeah, that's just me being stupid.
So actually, we've got this coming up this next week on the 4th. We've got World Wildlife Conservation Day, and the 5th is World Soil Day. So we got
Okay.
some neat nature days coming up.
Oh, cool.
And,
All right.
it's actually not too much snow. I mean, actually, it's nice to get out there, and if you can cross-country ski or hike right now, it's fantastic. Maybe not enough to quite snowshoe, but you could. But
Yeah.
some areas have enough.
I am happy. Timber Ridge, Bittersweet, Swiss Valley, your wish has come true.
Yes, yes.
And they should be open pretty darn quick. I know they have to test out machines and everything and make sure everything works, but you have your base.
Yeah, it'd be nice for them to have a long season again. It's been quite a while since they've had a long season.
Oh, I know it.
Plus, it's a lot of fun. So.
Well, yeah. Well, for those who are young enough, my knees would kill me. But anyway, so are you at the store today?
I am.
Okay.
Helping people pick out Christmas trees.
Yeah.
In my working Santa clothes.
And there you go. See, so go out and say hi to Gary, whoever he's playing today. Go see him.
I'm Santa, but I go by Gary also for some reason, just to be incognito once in a while.
Very good. All right. Thank you, sir, for coming in. Do appreciate it. And thank you for listening to this edition of Nature Watch. Tune in each Saturday at 8:30 in the morning for Nature Watch. It's brought to you by Waddell's Nursery, Floral Garden, and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millham Road. CBS and local news is up next, and then American Outdoors Radio right here on 590 and 106.9 FM WKZO.